What do you do with your food?
Well, how much you pay for these little gems of wisdom here?
Paid about $14.95, sent off for it. Been worth every penny of it.
$14.95.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You know, the footage you're going to watch today, I shot a few days ago, and after kind of reflecting on that, I thought I needed to come in and give a quick intro on why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, everybody likes talking about cattle prices being high and big equipment. Man, I'm no different than anybody else. I love that stuff too. Nobody's talking about manure. But on a small ranch, ignoring that costs you. It costs you in soil health, it costs you in forage production, and your long-term inputs such as fertilizer. Guys, I know you all know fertilizer is expensive, so we want to reduce that as much as we can. So today we're handling one of the least exciting but most important jobs we do here on the ranch. And now roll that beautiful bean footage. Good afternoon, ranch hands. We've got a beautiful day out today. It's warm enough that we're going to come out here and we're going to drag some of these piles of manure down. So throughout the winter, everywhere we feed, we get these big piles of manure around here. And when it's frozen, man, let me tell you, they are rough to drive over. But we've got great weather today. It's warm, got a little bit of a breeze. Things are going to smooth out real good. So some of the reasons we do this is, number one, it helps with fertilizer, right? We spread this manure out, it helps fertilize all this ground. Number two, it helps with fly control. When we have these big piles of manure, larvae can get in there and then they hatch and multiply. So when we get these knocked down, that helps to control that issue. Plus, it also helps keep things smoothed down and just looking good out here. Getting that free fertilizer. This is just our homemade drag here. Like I keep saying, we don't have big fancy equipment, you know. This is something we made. These were the sideboards off an old 2-ton flatbed truck we had. Just a piece of I-beam. And my probably 1978 or 80, 886 International out here. Still getting it done. Here's kind of the view out the back window. As you can see there, it's smoothing things out real nice. I'll catch up with you in a bit. You know, this is one of those jobs that you kind of put off. It's easy to put this job off, but here's the deal. It's coming up on the middle of February. We're in Oklahoma. So the weather could go either way right now. We could have more snow and ice storm. We could have all kinds of things. Or we could have an early spring. Am I a little early in getting out here and doing this? Maybe. Is it going to hurt anything? Absolutely not. But what it is doing is if we do have an early spring, this is going to be done. And I'm going to be able to start on a different project. Like getting hay equipment ready, because that's coming sooner than we'd like. You know, so whenever you're working that job in town and you have something like this to take care of, you got to really start planning ahead. You can only put stuff off so long. I mean, I've sat around this winter and said I'll do this or that in the springtime 50 times probably. Well, guess what? When spring gets here, it's a race. So the more we can get done now, the better off we are. So I'll come out here in February and I'll drag these piles, just in the hopes that we do have an early spring. This grass gets to growing into March, into April, and we can get into haying season, and we'll be sitting in a good position for that. Okay guys, Big Pops is going to tell us why we are doing what we're doing.
It's doing it. It's better to make fertilizer on the grass and make your Bermuda grass come up good.
Heard it. We're spreading this out, going to make the Bermuda grass come up good, as well as help with the flies in the springtime. This will help get these piles knocked down to where there's not as many, you know, the larvae can't get in there and grow and hatch. All right, guys, now you know. You know, cattle manure contains nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, organic matter, and micronutrients. On average, beef cattle manure contains 10 to 15 pounds of nitrogen per ton, 5 to 10 pounds of phosphorus per ton, and 10 to 15 pounds of potash per ton. Not all of that is immediately plant available, but a significant portion becomes available over time. I keep saying that. Play the long game, this is no different. Every time manure piles up and isn't redistributed, you're concentrating fertility in one spot and you're starving another. That is economic inefficiency. Even distribution through dragging or spreading, like what I'm doing in this video today, improves uniform grass growth. So you're taking these piles and you're kind of spreading them out, right? And that's helping get that fertilizer moved and managed around the area, not concentrated in one spot. It reduces patchy grazing. You know, instead of cattle all wanting to graze in one area, they're going to graze the entire area. And it also increases forage yield over time. Once again, back to that long-term plan, guys. We can't think about 10 days or 10 months. We got to think about 10 years. You know, the research consistently shows properly distributed manure can increase pasture productivity without commercial fertilizer inputs. For a small ranch, that means less purchased fertilizer, more forage per acre, better carrying capacity. You can put more cows on less acres. That ties directly to your economics. Organic matter from manure improves soil structures, increases water infiltration, it allows the water to get into the soil, improves drought resilience. Seems like we're always talking about droughts, guys, come on. And it helps to reduce runoff. Long-term effects from that, better root systems, more resilient pastures, and less input dependency. That's long game soil building. Not 10 days, not 10 weeks, not 10 months, 10 years. You know, dragging pastures also helps with parasite and fly management. I referenced that in this video. You know, those cows have tails. My grandpa Tom always told me because they were fly swatters, but the less time they spend swatting flies, the more time they spend eating. This can reduce chemical use, improve your herd's comfort. Comfortable cows are healthy cows. Improve weight gain. We're always talking about weight gain. Come on, guys. That's the hidden economic impact. Ignoring manure doesn't just waste nutrients, it can degrade your pasture quality. You know, fertilizer prices fluctuate heavily. We all know that. You're converting feed, cattle, fertility, forage, feed again. It's a closed loop system. It reduces outside inputs when you manage the manure effectively. That's resilience. And resilience is long game economics. Hey ranch ants, we're done. I've been going for a little over 2 hours. I probably got about 50, maybe 60 acres done. Let's take a swing around. We got all that back down there, plumb to the barn. The cows weren't too bothered. I just went around them and just kept on going. Like I was saying, folks, you don't have to have a bunch of big fancy equipment. This right here, this little homemade drag we just made up out of things we had, works just fine for our purposes. You know, in 2 hours I've drug about 50 acres, maybe 60. Now, is this going to work out for every guy or gal? No. You know, where we're at, we've got all our cattle in one section of land. So I don't have to worry about going through gates and things like that. So yours may look different. Your setup may have to look a little different. You know, for you guys, it's got several different pastures and you're going all around feeding cows. You know, maybe you have to have something that you can take down the road with. That can be made as well. There's things you can use to make this stuff instead of going and buying brand new equipment. I mean, if you can, great. But that's just not how we do things. Like I like to say, if you pulled up on this place in the early 80s, late 70s, it was probably state of the art. But what more do you need, man? I got AC and a radio in that thing. That's good enough for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is just kind of wrapping up my Sunday around here. You know, I got to go back to the town job tomorrow. So everybody's back to work, get back in our normal routine. I love the weekends because we get to do things like this. You know, we actually get to come out and take care of things the way we want to and the way we wish we could every day. You know, one day maybe that happens. I'm ready for that day. Thank you guys for watching.